Good afternoon, and welcome to winter solstice on the allotment plot. It's Sunday, the 21st of December, and we have less than 8 hours from sun up to sunset today. It is now just about 3 p.m, so there's less than an hour of daylight left. We're having a pretty laid-back day. Solstice is kind of our equivalent of Christmas, I guess, but very different. So I'm on the plot. We are here to get some parsnips, maybe some beetroot, and Kat's currently in the greenhouse picking chilies. But yeah, let's have a look around. This is our parsnip plot, bed. It looks a bit died back, as they do in the winter, but you can see the tops of some parsnips there. So I'll be pulling some of them out and seeing what we've got. We have Gunther the goose for dinner tonight, which I'll be cooking the body of. We'll be taking the legs off to do them in a confit style, kind of inspired by the Hugh Findlay Wedding Stall River Cottage year. But yeah, today's about the roast. So we have the beetroots here, purple beetroots and white beetroots, so we'll get some of them. There's some parsley and some coriander and stuff still going on in here. Not having the best of time in the cold, but they're there. This garlic bed still hasn't come up, slightly concerning. Yeah, that's been a few weeks now. The monobulbs are doing okay there. I mentioned them in the previous video. I don't know if I'll put this video up before or after the end of the year. Maybe Christmas Day, because that is actually a thing, if not so much for us. There's some garlics coming up here, we can see. There should be more, but I'm not seeing much. Yeah, it's funny because I think we just had the first ones we put in come up so fast. I'm expecting that sort of speed of growth. But yeah, so we're collecting those root veg for our roast, and that's about it for today. As I say, Kat's currently picking some chilies in the greenhouse, and it is pretty mad to think that we're picking chilies at this time, December the 21st. Look at those, you can see the yellow chilies in there. Madness. Anyway, yeah, so that's it. I'll probably do a little video of what we've harvested when we leave, and we're going home to roast our goose, which may feature briefly. I'm not really not about the cooking so much. I mean, I am personally about the cooking, but I don't YouTube about the cooking. That's more the allotment side of things. But yeah, anyway, nothing much has changed here since the last video, which I did a few days ago, which covered, I guess, the first half of December. And we'll see what we get up to in the next few days. I've got 9 days off the off work. Well, this is day 2 of the 9 days, so I've got 7 more days after today off work. And yeah, here we are in the greenhouse, and like I said, it's pretty crazy. We even have some ripening ahi mangoes down there, some ripening red chilies of the variety we don't know because it was the wrong thing. Yeah, and other things are doing okay in here. I guess we expect the grape to have died back. Hopefully that will come back in the spring. The fig down here hasn't died, so I'll count that as a positive. Here's some of the chilies Kat has harvested. And we even have some more ripening chilies over here. And there's another grape hiding back there. I can't remember which is which. Is this the Cabernet Sauvignon? No, the one at the front's the Cabernet Sauvignon, and this is something else. Don't know. Right. Anyway, I'll wind that up and come back in a moment with some video about what we've harvested. Still a crazy mess back here. That's a problem for another day. But yeah. And what's the temperature in the greenhouse, I guess? Oh, Kat has pointed out. Fungus. We have quite a few funguses coming up in the wood chip. There we go. December 21st and 11 degrees. Nearly 12 degrees in the greenhouse. So yeah. I don't think they're going to be having a white Christmas here in the UK. Well, here in this part of England. Maybe up north in Scotland. Anyway, these garlics are going okay. And, yep, I'll go get my fork and pull out some parsnips. And that's it, our solstice root harvest. The parsnips are all weird, stubby little things, but we can carve a bit out of each of them for a bit of roast parsnip. It's interesting how they've all gone bulbous at the top and haven't really done a taproot. We were quite late planting them, so probably something to do with that. They were in fairly good soil, deep, loose soil. Well, yeah. Anyway, purple beetroots. I picked the largest 2 purples, probably the largest 2 white beetroots as well. And our lackluster celeriac situation. Look at these little things. Once we've carved that down to a core, I don't know if there'll be anything left. We'll see. This one looks even worse. This one is actually almost respectable. So yeah, we at least have some celeriac. So that's our roast goose. We'll have roast celeriac, beetroot, parsnip, and we've of course got some potatoes at home. Oh, we've got some carrots on this plot too, actually. Are they any good? We have a little bit of a carrot spot down here. Look at that. Look at that thing there. What's going on? What's that? Rude. Very rude. I don't know what that is though. Oh, it's got a tail. It's got a tail on the front and a thingy on the front. Thingy on the front and a tail on the back. I don't know. Tail's between its legs though.
It's a furry.
Look at that. Huh?
It's a furry.
Oh, cat doesn't want my dirty carrot. Let's see.
Reverse.
Upside down carrot. What's going on there? Huh? I wasn't intending to do a live carrot pull today, but here we go. Oh wow, that actually looks like a carrot. Not bad. I'm not sure if we had some initial protection on these long ago, but we haven't really done any carrot fly protection, so we'll get what we get. What else looks a decent size? There, that one there. Oh, he's got a weird split. Not so good.
Oh, okay, that's his partner.
I might as well pull it out too. It's interesting, this variety seems to grow upside down carrots. I think that'll do for our roast. So there, we've even got some roast carrots for our roast dinner. Oh, look at that, there's a big split in him too. Didn't see that from the other side. Oh well. We'll see what we can get out of them. They're a bit smaller. A bit bigger down there. There were some back here, I think, but I can't see them. That'll do. Anyway, that's where we'll end this video. Some carrots. And we'll see what we can rescue out of that. I may add a little bit of video at the end once we've cleaned up the vegetables. And we can see what we've actually got out of this lot. Right. Shop time. It's about 1:15 on Thursday the 25th of December. We're a bit later down here than originally kind of hoped. It was forecast to be a nice clear sunny day, which it is, but also it's kind of nippy. It's around maybe 5 or 6 degrees centigrade out. I know to some people that's not even cold, but it does make getting out of bed in a cold house, unheated house, a little slow sometimes when you're in the middle of a holiday. So it's a bit windy out as well, which discourages things. Hopefully today we're mostly doing some things inside the polytunnel, getting that slightly belated garlic planted in the polytunnel. These garlics are doing well, and oh, it looks like we've had a few pop up over here, though I think I already covered that in the last video. There's some popping up here too, And I do believe if we look very carefully, you might see there's a couple have popped up in that bed there. So I was a little worried about that, but we do have something popping up there. You can see, there we go, right in the centre of the screen there's a little blade of garlic popping up. But yeah, no other changes down here. We've not been down since the last little bit of video, which should have played just before this little bit of video. The main job is this. It's not bad actually. We've got to get a bit more water into it, but we're going to plant a row of garlic down the edge of that bed, outer edge, 2 rows down the middle over these 2 bigger beds, and 1 more down the edge of that bed. And that's the key plan and goal for today. But what I also have is some flammable bits and pieces, and despite the wind we're going to try to get a little bit of a fire going and burn through some of this old pallet material we have. And I've got my big boots on, my JCBs today. Hopefully that wind isn't affecting things too badly, because I'm going to go down the ditch and clean this up a bit. So yeah, a few little things to do. We've got what, 3.5 hours of daylight left today, but I want to get gone by 3 really, before it's too dark. I've got goose legs to confit. They've been salting in the fridge. So yeah, anyway, just stand in that sun for a moment and absorb some distant solar rays. And yeah, anyway, we'll do one more trip back to the car, pick up some more bits and pieces, and we'll pick up a bit later once we've done a bit more. These little chards down here are doing okay, but as we can see, something's been munching. Anyway, car's down there, and Kat's walking up the pathway there with some greenery on her head. It's a bit windy out, so hopefully that's not affecting the microphone too much. I've got the wind behind my back, which is also not the best position for videoing this fire, but here we go. Celebrating the end of 2025 with a bin fire, as is appropriate. Though 2025 has not been my worst year. That was probably a title that 2024 wins, hopefully for life, but it hasn't been an easy year. But anyway, like I said earlier, we're down the allotment, and I've set fire to some pallet wood. Also getting rid of some old junk that was in the bottom of this, so having a good burn off. The wood I put next to it to dry out is also burning. That's okay. So trying to tidy up the back here a bit, turning to face into the wind. I've just been trying to tip that over, but it's way too heavy. So I've got a bit of hose, and I'm going to try and siphon it and hopefully not die of some horrible disease. What I did realise is I fossicked at the bottom of that patch of stuff there, and I have struck horseradish. I always knew there's a whole pile of horseradish that grows along the side of this bank here, so it's quite horseradishy over there. But yes, I have found a nice pokey outy bit there, and I'm going to nip over there with a fork when I get this thing siphoning. Well, that was not fun, but here we go. I took a few goes, but I didn't end up with a mouthful of mank water at least. Anyway, let's have a look at that horseradish. That's it, just poking out of the ground there. You can see where I snapped a bit off to test that it was what I thought it was, which it definitely is. Right, time for some forking. Not bad. I think that's more than we need, really. Good. Bit of horseradish. Oh. We have a glitter kitten. Hey there. Why are you behaving so timid? Oh. We've not seen glitter kitten for, what, a couple of weeks maybe? Maybe longer. We've not been down so much because of the wintry weather and life being life. Yeah, look at it. It's really timid. Really, what's the word? Jumpy. You know, not sure what's going on there. Hey. Yeah, I want to be your friend. You're safe while we're around. Maybe not so safe when we're not around, I guess. Anyway. Bit of a feed, but yeah, look at it. It just keeps looking up and wondering what's going on, I think. Okay. Well, time flies, and after a bit of fossicking outside, it's already nearly 3 p.m. So we've stepped into the polytunnel to try and hopefully get some of these in the ground. This is the wonky white eating garlic from the garlic farm. What's left of the bulbs I separated out for planting. And this is our own either rose or Kingsland white. I think it's rose, but we're not sure. So this is what we're going to plant in the polytunnel, hopefully today, with what's left of the light. I don't want to leave when it's dark, so we'll do what we can. Should be fairly quick putting some garlics in the ground. So there's one line down there. We're going to plant a garlic every 15 or so centimetres. And normally I'll put 2 lines up the middle of each of these beds. I think I've already said all this, haven't I? I'm just currently clearing old rocket out of this bed a bit to tidy it up a bit. Anyway, better crack on with that while we still have some light, hey? Okay, getting our priorities right before we've totally lost the light with a couple of toasted marshmallows. It's very hot down there. That's toasted very quickly. Now, there's my end of allotment trip snack, hey? The banging in the background is Cat putting some compost into the, well, putting some food waste, I can smell it, into the compost bin. Okay, time for me to eat this marshmallow. Okay, well it's 3:40 p.m. 40 minutes than I'd really hoped to be staying down here, but here we are. Still quite bright, thankfully, because of the clear skies. Obviously the sunset's getting a little bit later every day at the moment, but we're only really just past the solstice. So that's our little harvest there. It's mad. Yes, we're still harvesting chilies from the greenhouse. Yeah, there you go. December 25th / Christmas Day, if that's your thing. Chili harvest. I don't believe it. So it didn't get quite as far as we hoped in here because outside things kind of chewed up more time than expected. I have prepped the 2 centre beds, ready to receive the garlic. It's very dry. I have basically scraped it down to where the soil had a bit of dampness in it still. And that's where we'll plant the garlic, just at almost surface level, and then we'll push this back over the top and create a bit of a shallow depression down the middle so it will catch the water we put on there. Obviously being covered, as you can see, this will be entirely manual water with the IBC water there, which will hopefully last us until they turn the taps back on in the spring. So Kat did get a whole row of the wonky white in down that side, which is now thoroughly watered in, so that's done. And we've just got to get some more into these beds and we'll see where we get to. I was going to do some work on the farm tomorrow, maybe I will, as in my storage site, but I think we should come down here and as a priority get this garlic in, and we should get some garlic in down that edge there too. But yeah, that's where we're at. Not a bad little afternoon session, to be honest. Quite happy with that. And obviously got a bit done back here. Cat cleared out this compost bay. We've got a full bay there under that junk, and we need to sort of move it across and sieve it a bit, hopefully, to get it in there. That's one of our plans. I've got a big wire mesh at the farm storage that might work for me for that. Got that junk out of the ditch, so that's that done. Kind of put the bed, kind of put the fire to bed. It's just got the lid on. That'll be safe. Everything around here is so damn wet. I don't think anything's going to catch fire from a covered fire like that. And this is where those IBCs have been put for now. Still a bit of a question as to what to do with them. Oh, and the other thing, we had this comfrey I grew from seed, and that's here now. Not quite sure what to do with that. That'll probably grow if we put it somewhere. It was in a pot and it has totally squeezed out the pot. But there we go. Oh, and before we go for today, look, the kitten says hello. Hey, hey. Yeah. Hey, what's going on? Where have you been? You're probably wondering, where have we been? Oh, well, and right between my legs. Oh. I think I need to give the kitten / cat some attention here. Oh, it's come to me. No, you don't want the comfrey. It's going to try and bite me. That's what it does. It wants a game. See, look at that paw. It's like really keen to have a game. But, yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I think I'll sign off there. Sign off with some cat. I'm going to need both hands for this. Okay. Oop, and it went for me. Cheerio, folks. Here we are. It's 1:45 on Friday the 26th of December, and I have some chestnuts here from France, which is better than the usual from China. But with any luck, we'll roast a couple of chestnuts over our little fire here, which I've only just starting. It'll just be this pallet wood here, and a little snack. Going to continue with a little bit of tidy up the back of this plot here today, well, we'll see what else we get to. There's the garlic to plant in the polytunnel, which into these two areas here, either side. If we have any left, we can put some down there, but I've only got these 4 bulbs, so we'll see what we get out of that. Going to put 2 rows up the middle with 1 garlic every 20 centimeters and interleaved, so it's like a zigzag. Yeah, and we'll see how we go with that. And these are the garlics we're going to plant, which I already mentioned in yesterday's video. Yesterday we got, as I mentioned, the wonky whites down that side there. Cool. Anyway, things to crack on with. We might also get some of these greens planted. Don't know how they'll do, given the time of year. It's a bit late. We should have had them in back in October, really. November, something like that. Anyway, I'm going to get this fire lit. Well, it's a nice sunny noon for a bit of a burninating the countryside. These pallet woods burn quite well, and burning a couple of extra calories using the handsaw today. The saw, the electric saw doesn't work so well on these pallets anyway, because the wood shifts quite a bit, and then the blade binds. So I was trying to use my Makita electric saw on this yesterday, and it was just a bit of a pain. So I switched to the handsaw, and the wood cuts so well. That works quite well. These pallets are actually used to be the fence down the middle here. The original pallet fence that divided these 2 plots. They're not a lot of use for anything. They're just kind of in the way. So we get a bit of a fire, which is always nice. Cat's currently next to the fire, fossicking out some weeds and throwing weeds and the twigs of things like the tree trimmings in there. Anyway, make more fuel for the fire, I reckon. First, stab your chestnuts. They've all been thoroughly stabbed. Last thing you want is exploding chestnuts. And then apply fire. This should be okay. There's a fair distance between those coals and these chestnuts, but there's quite a lot of coals and it's quite toasty up here. Haven't toasted a chestnut on a fire for a very long time, but hopefully they work. My dad tells tales when I was a kid of them roasting the chestnuts in the woods where he grew up. I'm from Australia, but Dad's from, well, kind of from the UK. And I think this was near Colchester. He grew up in various places, but yeah. And it was quite a Christmassy story. The, I don't know, old man under the woods with a brazier roasting the chestnuts. This is pallet wood, which is probably not ideal, but it's all been outside for 5+, probably well plus of 5 years, and has now been reduced to just black coals. I have made sure there's no fresh wood in there before I did this, so that should be okay. Of course, I've just realised I don't have any tongs or anything with me, so it's going to have to be the welding gloves. Anyway, roasted. Well, it's nearly 4 p.m. The sun is setting ever later this side of the solstice, and we've done a pretty good job today. This area is looking a lot better. Most of what I did was just chopping up all those pallets with the handsaw, and of course the last pallet was the hardest. It was one of those red pallet logistics ones, and yeah, there was a lot of swearing involved cutting up that one. I almost went down the car and got the circular saw, but chose not to. So we've burnt a good chunk of it, but some of it's under the fire pit there, some of it's over there, some of it's just here, and I'm going to put a slab on top of that to keep them well dry, and then some of it's under the table. So there's bits of pallet everywhere, but it's more compact and it's ready to burn now. So that's a big win. And Kat's done lots of weeding, poured all the weeds out of here, tidied up a lot of junk, and been bulldozing with the big rake to flatten some of that dirt out. So the plan here, as has been mentioned many times, is to put a bench in here, a workbench. Now that workbench will be probably 3 meters long, and will also become our wood store. So all the wood we got lying around, like up there and elsewhere, can live in there. Haven't quite decided where the IBCs are going. They're either going at the end of the bench or up against the shed. Sort of defaulting to up against the shed right now. Now they're going to have to be buried into the ground, so the bottom one is as deep as the current height above the shed of the top one, because we want to drop that so it's below the gutter level. So the bottom one becomes storage, which we can pump into the top one when the top one runs out, is the theory. It's a semi-formed idea, but it's the same as what we've done in the polytunnel. So the back ledge here, there'll be a gate to get through to the back, and this will be a flat ledge at the back. That metal is going to be used as a bit of a retaining wall at the back of that to keep that path flat and hopefully stop it subsiding too much. And the path will be extended down there, which is still very slopey, but we'll excavate that and flatten it out nicely. So we'll have a good sort of staging area, well, walking area at the back for clearing things out and having a bit of a DMZ. So yeah, that's the plan at the back, and yeah, good progress. We're just letting this fire die down, then we'll pop the lid on top of it. It'll just smoulder away safely, it's fine. And the other smaller job is the polytunnel. So Kat has planted our probably rose white, our own grown stuff, all the way down there in 2 rows, 20 centimetres apart, and all the way down there in 2 rows, 20 centimetres apart. We don't have an exact count of these, but what I'll do is I'll measure them and I'll get an estimate in, so we have a good estimate of our total garlic crop. Once they've popped up, we can count them, of course. But yeah, so that's the polytunnel planting almost completely done. In terms of garlic, we just got to get some more from home and put one more strip down the edge of that bed there. And we've still got our leaf crops to plant, which may not give us anything this side of spring, but if they survive that long, they'll give us a good spring start. Not a lot else going on in the plot. everything's growing, and I've probably covered it all already. But yeah, it's a very nice evening right now. Got the moon up there. The sky is turning that indigo shade, and a bit of pink haze on the horizon. Unfortunately, tomorrow is forecast to be cloudy, as is Sunday, so we'll see what happens. I've got things I should be doing and things I'd like to be doing, which includes sometimes doing nothing. We'll see. Back to work on Monday for 3 days, and then 4 days off for the new year. That was, you might have heard the ding dong in the background of the church bells ringing out 4 p.m. Anyway, pretty happy with that. Feels like some progress. And with that, I'll sign off. Oh, we had those chestnuts earlier. I didn't film us eating the chestnuts. Here's a picture of one. I'll put one up on the screen. They were nice. Unfortunately, as is often the case, about 50% of them were mouldy. Well, a bit more than 50% probably. And 50% just went straight in the fire. They were so mouldy. Which is a pity. We don't do that very often with the roast chestnuts. It's a nostalgic thing in a weird way, despite the fact we don't do it very often. It's like England in the winter. The things we kind of moved over here for. But, well, so much for the white and the snow, hey? But a roast chestnut over some coals is a nice thing when it's not mouldy. And it's like eating a tiny little brain. It doesn't taste like a brain. Just looks like a tiny brain. Yeah, anyway, that's enough of that. This will probably be the last video in the 2025 videos. We may come down some more, but I'm going to wrap this one up and make this the video for the end of December. And anything else will be in the next January video in 2026. Anyway, just admiring the clear space at the back here. Hopefully we do something useful with it before it gets cluttered up again. Okay, signing off.